Hi everyone, I'm Donna Stellhorn, your practical astrologer, and today we are talking about the full moon. It's on October 6th, it's at 14 degrees of Aries, and now that eclipse season is done, now comes the time of opportunities. And so let's talk about how to take hold of those opportunities. So let's take a look at the chart, and what we have is the full moon, which is of course right here. I'm still learning how to draw. And so with this full moon chart, we look at what kind of aspects it's making and what else is going on in the chart. And very specifically, the things that are jumping out at me, let me get rid of those blue lines, is that we've got Mercury here at 0 degrees and then Neptune here at 0 degrees. Now 0 degrees is a very interesting energy, because different than 1 degrees and 2 degrees, 0 is all possibilities. There's a myriad of possibilities, and it can feel so much so that it's overwhelming. And having two planets in this position, and exactly in an inconjunct, and both of them ruled by Mars, because the Mercury in Scorpio is ruled by Mars, and the Neptune in Aries, of course, is ruled by Mars. And in this chart, we have Mars in Scorpio, feels very at home in Scorpio. So here you have an ability to take action, but you have all of these possible things that you can do. And all of them are going to take a little bit of work, because even though the Neptune can give you the idea that you could just slide right in, that it's easy, and the Mercury says, here are the steps to take, so you know what to do, it still has enough of an effort to it that it's going to be different. And that's the thing that the eclipse wanted us to do anyway, is to end something that we're familiar with and try something new. And so this chart really epitomizes that. And because it's a full moon chart, everything's lit up. It's right here to say, look, over the last couple of weeks, the universe has been saying, here you go, here you go. And maybe now is the time that you can say, oh yeah, there's enough light here, there's enough energy here, I see the possibilities, and I'm going to grab hold of it. Another really interesting part of this chart is the Venus sitting right there with the South Node. So Venus is what we want and what we like and what we think will be comfortable and delicious, and the South Node is the familiar. So right there we have this desire to stay with what we know. And yet with these two planets at 0 degrees and this full moon saying the energy is very high, now's really the time to say, what can I do that's different? What's the different path I can take? How can I think differently? How can I take a different route, to what I want to do? With an astrology reading, you get more information about who you are, your talents and abilities. You get to see what obstacles are ahead, and you can get a game plan for how to get past those obstacles and find success. So if you're interested in having a reading, there's a link in the description. Okay, let's take a look at your sign. Okay, Cancer, your short-term opportunities are around creativity or self-expression. It's about taking that small risk and putting yourself out there and getting a much bigger reward. So there may be some opportunity to show off your art or your music, or to do something with design, or it could even be that you are supporting someone you care about who does something creative, but the benefits come back to you. Your longer term opportunities are all around career. This chart shows that there is something, maybe there is some disruption in the org chart and now new positions are opening up. Maybe you're getting a new supervisor. Maybe there's a whole new opportunity at another company. So something could be opening up for you. If you own a business, this could be a new market or a new set of customers that you weren't expecting, or people looking at some of your products in a new way. Now, when it comes to relationships, the interesting thing about this chart is there's hardly any aspects that it's making. So it's not just your chart, but every sign is experiencing this kind of lull in the energy, which I think is so interesting after having such difficult eclipse energy. So this is such a quiet chart, and that might be happening. However, the moon is quite elevated in this chart for you, which means that if you do go out into the world, you are noticeable. So if you go to parties, if you go to social events, you just go to the center of the room and stand there, you're going to attract people. And that could lead to new connections and something interesting. It also indicates that your partner, if you have a partner, that their attention is on you as well. And so that gives you the floor to talk about things that you want to address, because right now they're listening. Now, when it comes to your money, the interesting thing is, because the sun's right at the base of your chart, it's about asking yourself about the foundation that you're building on. And that might be even the rules that govern you and how you handle money. Maybe your rule is that money needs to be spent, or that it's hard to save money, or you must save every penny, you can't spend on yourself. Like, looking at those rules and seeing if those foundational rules are still valid for you, if they are building the type of home, the type of security that you really want. So looking at those, there could be one of those rules that's actually quite a block for you, and now you could see it and remove it, and then the building comes together. Now, when it comes to money from business as well as money from a job, as I said before, the interesting thing is there's hardly any aspects in this chart. However, you, Cancer, are doing one of those aspects of the few, and that is that the sun is making a sesquiquadrate to Uranus. Now, a sesquiquadrate, not a great aspect. However, having an aspect does indicate that there is an ability to accumulate money. So that means that you could make more money than usual. Is just doing something that you don't necessarily want to do, or something that you consider difficult. So if you look at the things that you've been maybe procrastinating on, the things that you've been holding back about because you need more information, or somebody's being slow and you have to do it yourself, and all of these reasons, if you go do that thing, that could open up a new source, well, not a new source, but an increased source of money. Today's tutorial is a blast from the past, especially for those of you who miss my long hair and want to know about your rising sign. Here you go. I'm Donna Stellhorn, and here are 3 things you may not know about your rising sign. Number 1, your rising sign is based on your time of birth and location of birth, and the rising sign changes every 2 hours. And so over a 24-hour period, we will go through all 12 rising signs, which means that sometimes even twins have different rising signs. Number 2, your rising sign is how you appear to others, and so they may see you as your rising sign more than your sun sign. Rising signs can also affect your appearance, and so you might find that you look more like your rising sign. For example, Taurus can have a gap in their teeth, or Virgo might have very long, beautiful fingers, or Scorpio has very piercing eyes. This is based on the rising sign, not on the sun sign. And number 3, if your sun sign and your rising sign are the same, then you're a double. And that means that what we see is what we get. That's awesome.